Otis and Rosie Brown are my parents. Otis is a retired worker from Xerox, where he worked in a warehouse for over 40 years. And my mother is a retired educator. And really, they inspired me to start this foundation many, many years ago by me simply watching them. They really embodied what it means to be ordinary, which we all are, but have the ability to do extraordinary things and make a difference.
With the Otis and Rosie Brown Foundation, my sister had a vision that she decided to honor them and having a foundation named after them. What extraordinary is, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And I could say it started back in '83 when we first moved down here to Texas. You know, there was a beginning on how all this came about, as far as my sister, my brother, and myself being able to do what we do was because of my mom and dad.
Now, I remember my mother, who's a teacher, growing up, when she would always tell us that if you see someone at school and they don't have their lunch money, you know, absolutely there was no making fun of them. We would have to give them our lunch money or our lunch, because we knew when we got home we would at least have a meal.
My dad's job moved him down here, so he was away from us for about a year before we even came down here. He was down here with his job. So a year went by, he came back, picked us up, and we drove down here with all we had in this Lincoln, 1977 Lincoln. Put everything in there that we can handle, came down here and started another life down here.
My father would stand in the gap for many of the friends who were in the neighborhood who did not have a father. And he would be the one to go to their games. He would be the one to just sit and talk to them about life, just being there. His mere presence made such a difference in the lives of so many young men.
We really didn't know it at that time. You know, we was kids, you know, we ate every night, you know what I mean? Lights were on, watch TV, whatever. So, and I never really understood on the things that he did and my mom did, the sacrifice, bringing her family down here and making sure we're happy and giving us, you know, the things that we needed.
I remember my mother attending our games and not just cheering for us, but cheering for that child that may have just got into the game and may have not scored a point all year. But she would be the one to lead the cheer, to tell that child that they could do it, that they could persevere. It's those kind words that really made a difference. And so when I think about now, why am I starting a foundation and what really inspired me, it was seeing my parents embody what it means to be extraordinary.
Friends used to come over to the house. My mom would feed them, you know, sometimes even give them shelter for a couple of days, you know, not knowing back then what their situation was. You know, there was no cell phones to call their home or anything like that, but they was fed and clothed, and we got up in the morning and went to school. So the foundation with ordinary people doing extraordinary things, that's what we was doing at, you know, in the beginning.
Many times people see that now I'm a CEO and they say, how did you become a CEO? You are so extraordinary. And really, I think back to the fact that it was ordinary people. I'm an ordinary person, but through the confidence that my parents instilled in me, through having friends along the way, teachers, colleagues, all of these individuals who were ordinary just like me, planting these wonderful seeds, that was truly the secret sauce that gave me the confidence, the encouragement, the wherewithal to know that I could be extraordinary. I had the ability through my ordinary resources to make a positive impact.
Tashonda, Reggie, and Jamal knew that if a child did not have lunch money, you pay for their lunch money. And whatever deeds you do, you were not to let anyone else know about that deed. You do it because you care. You do it from the heart. You're compassionate about it. So when I see my 3 children today as adults, as mothers, as dad, I see that same temperament, that same love, that same type of encouragement, reaching out to their children, to their spouses, encouraging them as their spouse encouraged each of them to be the best that they can do. But when it all comes down to it, and we look at life today, when you leave, what legacy do you leave for others?
I thought those were things that I was supposed to do as a man in the neighborhood. Our house was the hangout spot. Kids come over to eat hot dogs, hamburgers, and red beans and rice, and kids didn't have spikes to play football. I thought, supposed to do that for them
Right.
if we could do it. So.
With and that's where it started from. It started from our parents, and Deshonda, my sister, had a vision, just taking it to a whole nother level. And this is something she just didn't automatically. It was, came to her mind to start something like this. It was something that was embedded in us from the beginning, and helping others even when we didn't have, giving others our last.
I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad.
I love you.
Love you.
Love you. More.